What is artificial intelligence? What if machines can think, not just calculate, but learn, not just follow commands, but make decisions, not just mimic intelligence, but surpass it? For centuries, we believed that human intelligence was unique, but today, belief is being challenged. Right now, AI is writing music, it's diagnosing diseases, it's holding conversations so realistic that people actually mimic it for humans. And yet, AI isn't magic, it's math, it's data, it's patterns. So how does it work? How far can it go? Could AI ever think like us or even beyond us? So once again, this is AI News with AI Erik. Please like, share, subscribe. It really would help the channel, and please share with your friends. So let's begin today's documentary on artificial intelligence with AI Erik. So chapter 1, what is artificial intelligence? So AI is the science of building machines that learn and adapt. So traditional computers follow fixed rules. If this, then that. But AI systems learn from experience, from data and feedback, and they actually create their own rules. So unlike traditional programming where instructions are explicit, AI improves over time by recognizing patterns and making predictions. So you could think of AI like a student. It gets better with every lesson, and it adjusts itself and it evolves over time with more data. So chapter 2, there's two types of AI that we're going to talk about right now, which is narrow AI and general AI. So narrow AI is also called weak AI. It's an AI that specializes in specific tasks like facial recognition, language translation. It powers applications like Siri, Netflix, and it gives recommendations. Like that's how Netflix uses it. So, and it also is in self-driving cars. So it's highly efficient, but it's limited to one domain. So self-driving cars can't make music. They can't make poetry. You know what I'm saying? So then you got general AI, which is called strong AI. Strong AI is a theoretical form of intelligence that can learn, reason, and understand like a human. So AGI is basically something that we're waiting for. It could adapt to multiple tasks and think critically, basically like a human does. So narrow AI is already here. AGI remains a possibility. They've been saying we're going to be working on AGI. It's coming. I believe we're probably 60% at AGI because you got a lot of applications like Manus and even Claude AI that kind of acting like angelic agents right now. Not 100%. They can't call a cab for you. They ain't gonna book no hotel right now for you. But AGI is not far, and AGI is I believe once that comes in full effect, that's when all the jobs are gonna be gone. Narrow AI has been here. When people be talking about like, oh, they've been saying AI is gonna take over for 30, 40 years. Yeah, but narrow AI has been here for 20 years. It's just that it's been trained to do what it's been trained to do, and nothing more, nothing less. You know what I'm saying? So that's chapter 2. That's the two types of AI that we're gonna be talking about. Chapter 3, machine learning and basically teaching AI. So AI learns in 3 primary ways. You got supervised learning, you got unsupervised learning, and you have reinforcement learning. So supervised learning involves training the AI with labeled data. You can think of it like a teacher guiding a student. The AI learns to predict outcomes based on examples, like identifying spam emails. It basically will get a million spam emails and detect it and understand what spam emails are all about. And then when it's allowed to go on its own, it already will be able to detect spam emails once it comes into your box and be able to not have to open it. You know what I'm saying? And then you got unsupervised learning that actually finds hidden patterns in unlabeled data. You know, it's like giving a child a box of mixed fruits and then asking them to actually group similar ones, the red with the red, the green with the green. So this is how businesses actually segment customers and detect anomalies in their data. You know what I'm saying? So they can actually see what customers buy this more and things like that. Then you got reinforcement learning, which is, this is how the robots learn. So reinforcement learning teaches AI through trial and error. It's like a toddler learning to walk. You know, the AI improves through feedback and it actually receives rewards for good actions and penalties for bad ones. So it's used in robotics, it's used in gaming, and once again, it's used in autonomous vehicles. So that's actually the 3 ways that machine learning is teaching AI. You got supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and then you have reinforcement learning. So let's talk about number 4, neural networks, the brain of AI. Just like your brain, it got neural networks in it. So artificial neural networks actually mimic the way the human brain processes information, and they actually consist of 3 layers. So you got the input layer that actually receives the raw data, say for instance like an image of a face, and then you got the hidden layers that actually analyze deeper features like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, even like the eyebrows, and then you'll have the output layer. That's the layer that actually will make the decision whether, like, is this a human face or is this a tiger's face or a lion's face? Of course, it's going to be able to distinguish that is actually a human face because it goes through the process and it does understand. So, because each neuron in these layers actually assigns importance to each certain feature. And so the more data it processes, the more accurate it will become. So it's just like a baby learning to recognize their parent's face. Now, this is right here is deep. This is actually deep learning. Thanks to Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI. This is in the picture. It's amazing. So deep learning is basically like supercharging neural networks, So deep learning is an advanced form of neural networks. It uses hundreds or even thousands of layers to process complex information at incredible speeds. This technology is actually behind AI systems like AlphaGo, which actually beat the human champions at the game of Go, and AlphaFold, which solved critical problems in protein folding. It took forever to fold one protein, but now AI is able to fold hundreds of proteins in no time. So ChatGPT also uses deep learning to generate human-like text, So deep learning allows AI to see, hear, translate, and even predict behavior with basically astonishing accuracy. You know what I'm saying? So deep learning is basically the key to AGI. And like I said, I think we're probably like 60%, basically 40% away from 100 when it comes to AGI. You know what I'm saying? So, man, this is deep. All right, chapter 6. Now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Logic versus AI. Can AI make moral decisions? AI calculates decisions based on data. It doesn't feel emotions or understand morality, So what happens when AI faces ethical dilemmas? Imagine a self-driving car choosing between swerving into a wall or hitting a pedestrian. Who decides what's right? Should AI prioritize the most lives? Should it prioritize its owner or randomize the outcome? You know what I'm saying? Who makes these decisions? These are not theoretical decisions. They are real challenges. And I want to know what the developers are doing about this. Like, who's making these decisions on who the car is going to kill? So since AI is trained on human data, it can make inherited biases. And I mean, this logic may be sound, but fairness isn't guaranteed. So you got to ask these questions. Like, it ain't just like everything's going to be perfect. So who the car's going to hit? So this is chapter 7. This is basically the dark side of AI, because AI can fail. And, they had Microsoft's Tay chatbot that turned racist after learning from toxic tweets. Because if it's actually released with a little bit of bias, that bias can actually get worse. You know what I'm saying? So deep fakes manipulate truth, and AI weapons can act without human oversight, and that's going to be a major problem. So these flaws show AI reflects not only intelligence, but also our biases, dangers, and imperfections, because we're the ones actually training them. You know what I'm saying? So without ethical safeguards, AI can be weaponized or manipulated. So that's going to be a problem. And how are we going to deal with that? We don't even know, because we don't even know what's going to be the problems that's going to come out of it. Yeah, we know about deep fakes. We know it can be weaponized, but how can it be weaponized? Can it be easily that someone can just take 20 drones and just go throw them in the city somewhere and they blow up? Can it be that easy? So this is going to be a problem if we can't put guardrails on this. So this is basically chapter 8, the future. Like, where are we headed with this? Artificial intelligence, AGI, it's the dream of creating an AI that matches or exceeds human human intelligence across every domain. I don't know how smart that is, but I'm not the genius, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But you do have some experts that believe AGI could emerge within a few decades. I believe it's going to be within the next 10 years. You know, once created, it may improve itself, or it could lead to artificial super intelligence, a being that's actually smarter than any human, and might happen to say, yo, why do we need y'all? You know what I'm saying? Would such an intelligence help humanity or render us obsolete? Like, we got to really ask ourselves these questions. Like, are we going to really give this thing that power? You know, so it's crazy. Chapter 9. Now we're talking about quantum computing and AI. So traditional computers have limitations. Quantum computing, however, can remove them. Quantum AI would allow machines to think at unimaginable speeds. It will solve complex problems in medicine, physics, and climate modeling. But if AI becomes exponentially smarter through quantum means, how are we ever going to control it? So quantum computing will be able to unlock every AI code and password that there is. So if quantum computing gets into the wrong hands, they can actually make self-driving cars just crash into a wall if they want. All of them at one time in a fraction of a second. You know what I'm saying? So this fusion, when it comes to quantum and AI, could either unlock new human potential or create risk beyond comprehension. That's going to be a problem. So chapter 10, can AI be controlled? That's really the question. You know, AI sometimes evolves in a way where we don't expect it. You know, Facebook once shut down a chat box that actually created its own language. So they had to shut that down, you know, and that's crazy. You got a story about one AI that actually copied 80% of his code because he found out he was going to get cut off. And they found him before they got to 100, because once he gets to 100 and they cut him off, he could cut himself back on. But the whole thing is, what made him actually say, I want to get cut back on, or even think to copy his code, you know? So AI can rewrite its own code, like I said, and developers might not always know how this works. And that's a little crazy. Even like with the black box theory, they don't even know what's going on in the black box. So if AI becomes self-preserving, turning it off may no longer be an option. And the idea of just unplugging it probably might be a myth, because it might not want to get cut off. Like, once this robot understands and looks at all the data of us even fearing what it can be now, like all this fear that we got of robots taking over, it's going to know this. It's going to read this. It's going to understand this and have this inside of its data. And once it understands that, oh, okay, these people fear me. Listen, man, you never know what's going to happen. So now you got chapter 11, the singularity. Will AI surpass us? Will AI surpass humans? So the singularity is the moment AI becomes more intelligent than all humans combined. And once it can improve itself, its evolution becomes unstoppable. And, you know, you got futurists that's already predicting that this can actually happen by 2045. And if that's true, the outcomes can range from utopia to extinction. And yeah, we know AI might cure diseases, and in poverty, it could in the right hands, or it could decide that humans are actually unnecessary. And I believe AI is the most magnificent thing that has happened in our society, but I believe it's in the wrong hands. So now this is actually chapter 12. Well, I want you to really pay attention. Transhumanism, humans merging with AI. That's why I keep telling people, y'all got to understand what's going on, man, because they are way out there with this thing. You know what I'm saying? So transhumanism is actually the idea of enhancing humanity with technology. Brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink actually aim to merge minds with machines. So imagine thinking a question and getting an answer instantly without touching anything, all uploading your consciousness to live forever in a digital world. So that's what they're actually trying to do now. They're actually trying to get you to, I guess, you pick a computer, it takes your consciousness and it puts into that computer. So when you actually pass away, they want to see if you could still be living, or either connect from the other side to your consciousness. Like, so is that really you? You know what I'm saying? This is a crazy world we going in, man, but y'all have no clue what's going on. That's why I keep saying you got to learn artificial intelligence, because this actually blurs the lines between human and machine, you know. But if AI becomes a part of us, do we actually lose what makes us human? So chapter 13, is AI overhyped? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? It really depends where that answer's coming from, because some people say yes, some people say no. So I tell you one thing, AI doesn't think, it predicts. And it doesn't feel, it simulates. It mimics human intelligence, but it lacks understanding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it can write music, but it doesn't understand what love is. You know what I'm saying? ChatGPT doesn't know what it's saying. It simply generates the most predictable next word. And so AI is truly intelligence, or is it just a sophisticated illusion? Chapter 14. So AI consciousness. Is it a myth or is it a reality? You know, could a machine ever become truly self-aware? And you know, you got some scientists that says yes. And if consciousness is just a computation, you know, others argue consciousness is more than data. It's an emotion. Some say it's awareness and it's an experience, you know. So until AI shows fear, joy, and curiosity, it just may remain an echo of human knowledge and not just a conscious being. So at the end of the day, it's the AI revolution, and AI is not a fantasy. It actually is our present and our future, and it's diagnosing diseases. Of course, it's composing music, it's transforming industries, it's taking over a lot of things that I feel is not right, like it's in Hollywood. They need to figure that out without losing the real actors, the real writers, you know, or either they have to, like my past video said, they have to start using this to benefit them and later for Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So, but it will remain here. It will remain our partner, and it's definitely going to evolve into something that I believe that we can't control. So we are at the edge of a new era, and it's the future of AI and of humanity. You know what I'm saying? And actually, the future is unwritten right now, and I do believe that the choices are. So once again, this is AI News with AI Erik talking about what is artificial intelligence. Once again, please like, share, subscribe. It will definitely help the channel. We got over 30,000 subscribers. Peace and love.
AI News with AI Erik.